Yeah, so there's often two big things that people come to us in their 40s and 50s when they've all of a sudden woke up one day and their business is successful from just working their butts off and not having money come out. All of a sudden the business is working and they're making $500,000, $1 million, $2 million. And they all of a sudden realise their structures are probably not right. Now, it's often the wake-up calls are when they're either thinking about selling and they want to make sure the business is going to be tax-free. They all of a sudden decided they want a bigger house, a more expensive house, but they want to make sure the debt is going to be well structured. Or they're thinking about how they're going to sell the business to other members of their team, and they realise their structures are just not adequate. So we will do a structural review and work out the strategy about what type of structures they should be moving to. And often it's a chance to either revalue the business, and the small business CGT exemptions, they cut out when a business value reaches $6 million. Now, sometimes we'll see people and they've started the business, it was worth nothing, and the business is fast approaching $4, $5, even $6 million. Now, if they let it keep growing and then they sell that for, say, $7 million, they'll be 100% capital gains tax on that. And what I mean by that, they have a $7 million capital gain, $3.5 million assessable, call it about $1.6 million in tax to pay. It's a big number. Now, if they sold it at $5.5 million, if they're under the small business exemptions, they can pay no tax on that at all. Now, sometimes they might not be ready to sell it, but if their structures aren't adequate, we can often do a tax restructure, an entity restructure, and usually it's for other reasons as well. The structure is not efficient for succession planning. It's not efficient for their estate planning. So it's always good to have multiple reasons to do these things to avoid Part 4A, which is the anti-avoidance provisions, if the sole purpose of doing something is just for to minimise tax. So often, in this case, we're able to take a business, and if they can move it from the original entity that it was set up in, and it might have been in a partnership, it might have been in a simple mum and dad company, but if we then restructure it using trusts, companies with shares held by the trust, or holding companies, and we work with some of the best tax lawyers in Australia on this stuff to get the structures right for their next decade and for the rest of their life, really. Always done as part of a plan, and so they're working towards their retirement planning, where they're probably going to have three core structures. They're going to have a self-managed super fund, and that's to hold assets. They're probably going to have a trust to hold assets where tax has been paid, and they're probably going to have an investment company that is a beneficiary of that trust. So if we can take that opportunity to restructure the business, we get it professionally valued at a genuine market value. Let's say that business value is $5 million. So if they restructure at that stage, that business then has a cost base of $5 million because they effectively sell it to another entity within their new structure. They claim the small business exemptions, capital gains tax exemptions, because they're still under the $6 million asset. And it's a complicated thing, so you've got to get really, really good advice on this stuff. But all of a sudden, they've now got a $5 million cost base. They haven't paid any tax because they've claimed the exemptions. And if they sell it 3, 4, 5 years later at $7 million, they've now got a cost base of 5. So they've only got a capital gain of 2. Take the discount, $1 million, take the tax on that, it's sort of $400,000 versus about 1.6. So they save over $1 million in capital gains tax with good planning. You can't do it once your business is worth more than $6 million. So as your business is growing and it's hitting that 2, 3, 4, 5 million, that's the time we've really got to get it right.